Welcome back, Crown Fam. Good to have you guys here. It is Sunday, and we are going to see the end of this weekly close. We're not going to be live for it. Sorry, I can't do like 6.5 more hours. It is over 100 degrees here, so I'm going to do my best to stick through it. Here's the game plan for today. I'm going to be a little more structured than usual. We're going to go through the trades that have executed since we were live last. We're going to look at the Bitcoin chart, the Ethereum chart, the XRP chart, the BNB chart, the ADA chart, Doge, SHIB, Sol, DOT, YFI, and then my favorite Litecoin quickly at the end. So I don't know how long this will take. I have the charts kind of laid out already, kind of ready to go. So here's what I need from you. I need you to smash those like buttons and those subscribe buttons every time you do that. Every time you chat, every time you vote in the polls, that counts as engagement. Engagement pushes this stream to new eyes, and we've got some good numbers on our start, so let's go. We can probably do like one or two maybe requests on coins if I miss stuff that people want to see, but we're going to try to hammer through these. So, as usual, shout out to our sponsors, Phemex and Cipher. You're going to see me trading on Phemex here, as I do. Great platform, up to a $4,000 bonus on deposit. Cipher, best trading tool in the industry. Let's get into it. As you guys know who have been following these trades, we're still in the same one. We like to move slowly here. You'll notice a few differences. I moved my stop loss up to just above a 20,800. I felt confident doing this basically on the structure of Bitcoin right now. This is a very sloppy line. This was straighter earlier. I like what we're seeing here with the flat top and the ascending lows, but if this structure breaks, if it trades below 20,800, I'm probably out of this long. We did hit our order, our take profit target, 21,644, and we got that on this little wick earlier today. We locked away more profit. Our long's still open, but that stop healthily in profit. I am looking to flip to short if we can reach up to 22,500. You'll see the poll going on right now. Basically, are we going to close above the 200 weekly moving average? History would say we got normal odds. But if we do, I think short is the smarter play. None of this is financial advice, none of my trades, and none of the technical analysis. I'm just sharing with you my experience. That's it. What I'm looking at, how I'm seeing it. So let's keep going. Uh-oh. Wait, how do I close? Okay, there we go. No longer playing my own stream to myself. Awesome. So Bitcoin at a pivotal spot. We've gone over these supports. If you haven't seen the video on this, if you click the link pinned to the top of the chat, you'll see little short videos. We go through these. We're not gonna go through them now. Few things I like that stand out, few things I don't like. Obviously, the 200 weekly moving average still kind of healthily above us. We get rid of everything else, still kind of healthily above us. A good amount of ground to make up in the next 6 hours. That's looking grim, but we have seen on these Sunday closes, we've seen some big volatility at times. We had a giant expiration of contracts on Friday. Anything's possible. At the moment, not really look like it's happening, does it? Looks kind of like we're going to close below. We'll find out. I definitely don't dig that. Down to the day, this is not really the most confidence building thing. Yes, our lows are coming up. Our highs can technically be flat, but we haven't made significant progress. You see that 200 weekly moving average sitting above us. Something that also strikes me as not so great. Yes, we've had one bullish engulfing candle off our low and then another, but price isn't going anywhere. It's failed to make real progress. That isn't ideal, especially not after such a, I'll say, a catastrophic sell-off. We saw price very significantly dump from June 7th to June 18th. It's a 43% decline in just 11 days. And that's on top of the already, 69K down to 30K, 50% retracement. We've seen some serious selling. We're not seeing, or we haven't seen, the capitulation kind of buying that I'd like to see. That'd be high volume. That'd be big green candles. It's odd. It's just odd. You guys know I've been saying this forever. This whole thing, very little bounce, very little relief rally. Shorts really being rewarded, and that's been showing on our live trades. Pretty much all of our shorts have closed in profit. Most of our longs haven't. This is actually going to be the first one, I think, in a long time that we're going to close a long in profit. And actually, we can even see that we're falling out of this little pennant that I drew, getting uncomfortably close towards that stop loss. So on the daily, let's take a peek here quick at Bitcoin. We're not going to spend forever like we usually do. We're not going to spend forever. Actually, I'm going to keep those. What we have above us is an order block, and that's 21 or 22.1 to 22.5-ish. You can see the 200 weekly moving average right in between the logical spot for upside liquidity. Below us, 20,700. We'll call it to about 27 or 20,004. Likely some support in that area. If we lose that, I mean, we're looking back at the previous all-time high. That's how we took this long to begin with. We went long at the previous all-time high when it came back on the daily. So that was a few days ago, actually. And that's just under 20,000. Ooh, okay. Not loving it. Not loving it. And I'm not loving this daily today. You can see we're already trading in a bearish engulfed candle. And that may suggest that this pattern continues, which is kind of this droopy bouncing to the upside. Nothing really exciting. At least not yet. Let's go down to a short time frame. So this is actually something we looked at in the last TA stream, and I like this. I wanted to make sure I remembered to show you guys this. We were looking at this potential head and shoulders pattern. This is why I am such a stickler for the rules and the structure of a head and shoulders, because everyone and their mom was probably calling for head and shoulders here. I'm sure some people were even calling it randomly before that. We had a left shoulder, a right shoulder paint, we had a neckline, and we said, if the neckline breaks, if 19.9 breaks, we're going to look for a fall and a back test, and that's where we're going to look to go short. The market had different plans. I like it, though. So this was not a valid inverse head and shoulders, in my opinion. We did not break 19.9 again. You have to break 19.9 again. Without that, I don't know what this is. It's not really a defined pattern. You could call it a double bottom if you want. It's not really a double bottom. But price then, floating out, floating up. In my opinion, I really do believe that we will see that 200 weekly tested before we see 17. If we see 17. Things are pretty bearish still, so I guess people are in that mindset. But I believe we'll at least touch that 200, even if we're going to break 17 again. I don't want to spend too much time on TA for any single chart because we have a lot to get through. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this a little unusually. We're going to jump to, I'm going to try to stream marker this. We're going to jump into Ethereum. Ethereum, I'm liking this chart. I'm not necessarily saying it's more bullish than Bitcoin. That's not really my opinion, but I'm liking it on a technical level. We had some very clearly defined supports, macro supports, that were also laid out in that video on the playlist, actually pinned to the top of the chat. Check that out after the live stream. Make sure you're smashing those likes. Let's get to 420 because we're going to go through a lot of charts. It's not going to be easy. But on a technical level, I really do like this. We talked about 1100. 1100. If we lost 1100, there really wasn't support below it. So here's what I'm digging. On the weekly, we saw last week trade below, and then it settled back above 1100. This week is looking to do the same. To me, that implies likely looking for, whether it happens, I don't know, this week, next week, whatever, a return to at least 14 and a return to 17 would really be the logical move, in my opinion. This doesn't really get Ethereum out of trouble. That's the problem. We have a long ways to make up. You can see even back to 1700, that's only to a shallow 382 retracement. Back to the 618, back to the golden pocket, 2,500. That is a 2x from here. That's a pretty big upside. That's where we would typically look. If we try to do this maybe a little more locally, you can see that these levels are still barely at the 0.5. I don't know. I like this on the technical level, man. The close above 1100 is great. If it can hold that into this weekly close, things are looking pretty decent for a short time frame on Ethereum. I might as well say this now. Everything I say is really going to hinge on what Bitcoin does. So if we see Bitcoin retake that 200, whether it's this week, next week, whatever, we're likely to see these alts look for those golden pocket retracements. If Bitcoin dumps and unexpectedly dumps lower, we're likely to see these coins follow suit. So Ethereum, we could see Bitcoin rally a little bit. It may end up falling back down into that 650 range. We don't know yet. we got to keep an eye. But the close above that support is a very nice thing to see in a market that's so uncertain, and it's nice to see that it's holding on to it. Let's jump over to XRP. This one I also am digging on a technical level. We identified not just our golden pocket retrace, but a pretty macro support. We went over this a lot in the last one. We saw this level 30 cents act as support, act as resistance twice, 3 times, 4 times. It broke, acted as resistance, and now this is what we're potentially seeing. XRP or Ripple returned to 30 cents and now is painting a bullish engulfed weekly candle. All of this can change into the weekly close, but at least at the moment, that's looking solid. A close for XRP above even 34 cents, currently at 36, gonna be a solid close. Once you get these closes above support, I'm hesitant to say it because we just haven't seen retracements. But once you get these closes on high time frames on supports, you do look for that retrace typically. Fingers crossed that Bitcoin allows this to happen. I think XRP and Ethereum both looking decent. XRP maybe has the edge here with the bullish engulf weekly. You can see Ethereum kind of more like Bitcoin. You have this large bodied candle with very little retracement. So it's nice to see though, TA being respected. This is a major support level, and potentially we're going to see some significant reversal. Very local. Even retracement here could put XRP back at 58 cents. If we look higher, that number moves to 94 cents. That actually looks like a really good level for liquidity as well. You can just see it here. It tested it as support before moving to a lower high, broke, resistance, found support again, broke, found resistance. So this is a very interacted level. And so liquidity is going to look at some point to go, or market makers are going to look for that liquidity at some point to grab. Pretty spicy charts. A lot has changed since we looked at these. That's why I'm going over them again. I missed that stream marker. Oh well. On to BNB. We're going basically by market cap. BNB. BNB is weird. It is not really moving with the rest of the market, nor has it. You can't see that very well on the USD pair, but if you look at the BNB BTC pair, which would be Binance's value versus the value of Bitcoin, which is honestly my favorite metric for a coin. Its dollar value doesn't really matter. If it's not gaining as much as Bitcoin is, or it's losing more than Bitcoin is, it's kind of irrelevant. Its value against BTC is what's important to me. This is why I say this chart's a little weird. Kind of stands out. All through April 21 to today, we have seen this basically trade sideways in a channel against Bitcoin. This is unusual. Not many things, if anything, is doing this. Those are very easy to see. We've not had many tests yet, but it is looking like it's moving back up to gain a little value against Bitcoin here. Or it's just going to trade sideways. I don't know. It's a little weird. If we look at the dollar pair, which is what you guys are probably concerned with, we have some pretty important levels. Pretty important. Above us in the 511, starting at 511 up to about 622, we have a pretty serious zone of resistance, and that's from the monthly and quarterly time frames. That's not going to be an easy wall to break. But what I do like is you are holding on to, at least for now, some of this earlier support on the weekly. That's at $210. We can see that tested here as that BTC pair traded sideways. It's finally returned to there, and it's pulling a similar move to Ethereum right now, and I'm digging that. We have that touch to support, and then buyers came in, bought it back up above support before the close, and we've seen that hold again this week. That's a solid technical place to be. I dig that. Our really local retracement probably put our sights at about $324. That actually looks pretty good. Actually, that looks really good. Our return here, especially if the market is remaining bearish, ends up painting a pretty janky head and shoulders pattern. But for now, BNB, I'm digging what I'm seeing here. If 210 breaks, probably looking to get out of that position if I was taking one. And chilling above it's good. Let's move to ADA. ADA is the least moved out of all of this time. ADA has done nothing. It's low in May, still unbroken. We pointed this out in a few streams. This is on the weekly time frame. Most coins hit a low in May and then broke that low, Bitcoin included. ADA somehow weathering the storm a little bit better here as its low has been respected. If we look left, we can see that 36.1 cents has been a pretty historical value for ADA. It's found resistance there in the previous bull run, and it found some resistance and consolidated at that point on the way back up in 2021. To see it kind of chilling here is uncanny. You would expect it to touch 36.2 cents. It didn't, and it's just trading sideways. However, as a market kind of as a whole crashes or is bleeding off, to see something moving sideways is actually good. This is actually somewhat of a bullish signal. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to hopefully pull up the BTC pair. There we go. Because this should be reflected on it. Let's see. There we go. We've seen prettier charts, but you can see that back in May. In May, it bottomed out as well, and since May's low, ADA has trended up against Bitcoin. It has gained value. It has outpaced Bitcoin since May. I don't know how long that'll hold on. This structure actually looks very good. You had a resistance, you broke it, now you're consolidating above. The structure looks good against BTC, but the USD pair just trading sideways, so a little weird. This is definitely not performing like the rest of the market, and unusual. It's not even really similar to BNB. It's its own kind of unique path. I don't know. Take of it what you will. ADA, I would still be looking for 36.2 cents. If it doesn't come, you could use that as a stop loss. I don't know. If we look at the bigger picture for a larger retracement, that would imply that 36 cents is maybe even too early. If we're in an extended bear market period, we likely would look back to that 618 golden retracement. We see a overlapping support from the monthly time frame at around 14 cents, the 618 at 12.6. That would likely be the place I may look, maybe to pick up a few more ADA, if it comes to that. I don't know. I don't know at this point. We got almost 500 watching and only 161 likes. Can we get 420? Let's get 420. Mr. JJ, the only human, the only human that subscribed during this live. Thank you, JJ. Appreciate you, man. If you're out there and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Helps the live stream get visibility on YouTube. Jump in our Discord. We'll do an airdrop live after the stream, as we do every time. All you have to do is verify by clicking the green checkmark emoji. You don't have to do anything. You'll get a few sats just for being in there. And I appreciate you guys being here and joining me for this. Let's go to Doge, because Doge actually looked spicy. I can't remember who this is, who it was, but shout out to whoever it was. They pointed something out that I liked about Doge BTC. Let's look at Doge BTC actually for a second. This is actually how I look at it. Doge was range bound for years. On the rally in 2021, we saw that finally break. Doge became very hype. People were all about it. But it ranged between 15 and 100 sats for almost the entirety of its existence. That rally has been sold into and is maybe cooling off here. Something that's very spicy, though, is Doge is currently bullish engulfed on the monthly. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, the quarterly is very, very close. 4 days to go in this quarterly. And Doge really just has to take back 365 sats, and it might have a bullish engulfed quarterly candle. That would be pretty huge. That would actually be extremely bullish. But in its current state, it's chilling right below or right above that bullish engulf status. And we do have a resistance above. So I'm a little skeptical there. I'd like to see some follow through on this monthly in the next 4 days. If we get it, Doge is looking very good. This is almost a two-prong analysis. So the Doge BTC pair looking very good. Doge USD pair not quite as good, but is also showing some strength. We have a zone of support built on the way up that Doge fell through. But we see right here, last week's candle found support and buyers at just under 5 cents and is now bullish engulfed on the weekly, heading for similarly a resistance directly above it. It's weird. The BTC and USD pair have a resistance that looks like just above current price. I think logically we can say that that's likely going to be a strong resistance then. That might be a spot to look to take a short. I don't know, not financial advice. But interacting with both the BTC pair and the USD pair resistance, that's going to be a hurdle. It's going to be a hurdle to get through. What I do like about Doge is this chill sell-off. We don't see any of these kind of bull traps that would create strong resistances above us. So in my opinion, and you guys know, I was bullish on Doge long before it was popular to be bullish on Doge. I sold into the rally. I'm not really expecting it to break that all-time high anytime soon, but it does look like it wants to retrace. This could take God knows how long, but it looks like it wants to retrace some of these losses. And if we were to look for that, probably the 28-cent area. Again, assuming the low is in, that's our golden pocket retracement. But it was also the very heavy consolidation period after the high. So there is definitely liquidity here. Definitely liquidity. And market makers tend to search out that liquidity. I like the overlapping of the 618 with our weekly zone of consolidation. So that proves to me a pretty solid thing to do. Pretty solid coin thing to do. I don't even know what I'm saying. Pretty solid chart. I think that potentially I'm not going to take this trade. I think Doge has just got so overheated. I'm not interested in it until everyone hates it again. But I think that there's a trade that could be made here from that just under 5 cent support up to that 26 cents. I have no idea how long it would take, but the stop here is easy. There really is no support for Doge below that until you look at that previous all-time high. That's all the way down at under 2 cents. So this can be a risk to reward play that is favorable for the right trader. Make your own decisions, not financial advice, etc. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. But Doge looking pretty good. Shiba I wanted to look at because it actually did something. It did something. We identified these major levels on SHIB, and pretty much following the TA here, we had a large consolidation period from 625 to 871 fractions of a penny. And we said, if SHIB makes it down to there, it's likely to find support. And it actually did. It actually did. In May, it bounced from the top of that zone and into June, sold back into it, but it did find buyers. My only hesitation here is where it is right now. Our daily candle chilling right there at resistance. You probably can't see that. Chilling right there at resistance. It hasn't broken its high before it fell, but on a break of its high, which means not that much more upside, this chart looks weirdly good. We haven't had that happen yet, so it doesn't look weirdly good yet, but it could look weirdly good with very little upside. My only concern again is this resistance right here. It was tested, so if we can see a higher low and a retest of that resistance, SHIB's looking for some upside. But following the rest of the market, we could easily see this fall back into our support zone. It's a spicy chart. I just really like how it's respected support here, how buyers kind of came in at the right time, let's say. It does have a lot of resistance above it, so if this even is a play at all, which I don't think I would. I don't think I will buy SHIB. I don't like centralized ERC20 tokens, but if we do see this happen, 871, another test on 871 with a stop below the previous low, may set this up for a pretty interesting inverse head and shoulders that probably have a measured move target with a pretty big upside. A lot of ifs there, a lot of conditionals, but the structure's there. If you lose this low, you're in price discovery to the downside, and it maybe, I don't know, it's kind of worthless. We'll see what happens. So far, so good. Moving on, I have done like one of these stream markers. I shouldn't even try. Let's go to Sol. Sol, another interesting one. Kind of similar to Doge, that sell-off, not a lot of bounce. 136, likely to be your real resistance above. You could find some from finding support here at around 70, but what I do like, as it's following suit with many other coins, is it's sold off to pretty much the only support it has at this price level. It found some buyers. It's not as clean as maybe Ethereum, as XRP, as Doge, some of these that we just looked at, but it did find some kind of support, and into this weekly close, it is looking to grapple with this $42.85 resistance. I would like this to close above. If it can close above, which is a very small price movement, I think it has some retracement in its future. Like I said, maybe to that 77, maybe as high as 136. But if you close below support, you're setting yourself up to fall farther down to that 1972, and below that, it's just a free fall. There's nothing there. Literally, there's just like nothing there under 19-ish dollars. So be very careful with Solana. I don't think I'm going to touch any of the new coins here. Let's see. That'd be a 92% retracement. It already performed at 90%. That's not bad. What's interesting, actually, is we look at $40, where it's basically trading at now. If we look at the next support below $19, that's $4. That's another 90%. So it fell 90%. If it falls down to there, it's another 90%. That's why I'm skeptical for these new coins. I'll wait till they're 99% off, and I'll pick up like $100 worth and YOLO. This is cool that it bounced, or it looks like it's bouncing. Maybe not quite as strong as a lot of the other coins we've looked at. I do not think this is a good one to touch. I do not. Next up is Polkadot or DOT. This one is interesting. It's failed to break its previous high from last week. That would be more comforting. It hasn't happened, but something that is comforting is we identified these major levels a long time ago. The consolidation or resistance here now being tested as support potentially. I like how clean this is. Last week, we saw it sell off to that support and get bought back up into a green candle. Not a lot of the rest of the market was able to do that. Where it's doing that from is the most important element for me. The way it respected $6.28 is very strong. We drew this area last time we were live. A move back to $10.35 looks pretty likely on a decent close here today. I would really prefer to see a higher high on DOT to give me that confidence of that 10.35. But unlike some of the other things we looked at, if we do see even a rejection from 10, or if it doesn't make it there, DOT at least has another significant support below it. Yes, it's almost a 50% drop from 628, but a lot of these other coins, it's like a 90% drop. So DOT, maybe the bottom isn't in, but it could be. That's a pretty major resistance that now is tested pretty majorly as support. We're going to need to see some follow through. Maybe a close above $10 is going to be convincing to me. Yeah, I'll say $10. Really what it is, guys, we have seen this on so many coins, Bitcoin included, but like Ethereum, 11 red candles. No, it doesn't make a green candle more likely. When you like look at probability, that isn't how that works. But markets don't tend to trend in one direction like this without some kind of retracement. So I think it's time to start looking for them. Retracements don't mean we're going back to an all-time high or to the moon. But as you've seen with some of these charts, they can be some significant upside. There can be some significant upsides in these retracements. If we look at the whole thing for DOT and assume the bottom is in, that's a big assumption. We'd be looking for $24. That's like a 300% gain, 400% gain. If we look more locally, back to say 14, right below the $16 resistance, that's still a pretty big gain. That's still a pretty big, still a pretty big gain, which tells us there is a good risk to reward to be had here. Absolutely. I hate how this does this. I think how I would play it would likely be like this. Let me see. Something like that. Your stop. Random. Pretty random. Just kind of random stop there. There you go. You have a 4-to-1. Not financial advice. 4-to-1 risk to reward ratio. A 23% risk with a nearly 100% gain. I think you could even smush this down. It's like a 2, not really preferable for me, but I think that some of these bounces for you guys who are still here, still trading, I think that there are some trades to be had. Where you place your stop loss is going to be the most important thing. As you saw with the Ethereum trade that got stopped out, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, we have a similar setup. DOT has a major support. You can look to potentially take a long with a stop under that support. Look what happened to Ethereum. It broke and it dropped down to sub 1,000. DOT probably in the same boat. You can likely play the downside potential versus the upside potential here, and I think you have an edge on the upside with how hard these have been drawn down. That's my opinion. Good luck. YFI. Someone wanted me to look at this and I said I would add it, so I did. Let's start with the positives. It's 67% up off of its low in May or June. But it's still a red candle for June, and I just don't know how impressed I am with that. This might be good for scalping. I think that's what they were saying. We see that it started at about 3,000. This low bring us to about 4,000. I've never really been a fan of this coin in general. After their devs or whatever added randomly to like the total supply, I was like, you've lost my trust forever. Oh well. In this weekly though, it has traded up to 8,000. I kind of see what that guy was saying. It did trade up to the monthly open. It does look like we rejected on the weekly here, but it still is looking to close a strong week with a bullish engulf above 6,000, which means that's to sell off more than 10% in the next 5-6 hours to lose that status. I think that's not very likely. That's a pretty hard projection from the monthly line there. I'm less concerned about that than I am this. 10,700, 10,600. Weirdly, that's the same major support Bitcoin has below it. This is, in my opinion, the level that's going to make or break this. So YFI easily could return there. I don't know what kind of time frame. Easily could return there. But will it break 10,700 if it gets there? I don't know. There's going to be a crap ton of trapped orders. There's going to be a crap ton. This sell-off gave sellers no real relief. If it had done, I don't know, something like that, maybe we'd break it. We just fell right through. No one really had a chance to get out and profit. I just don't like the setup here. If it trades above, let's call it like 11,000, take a look at it again. I'm setting my alert right now. But until then, I think you're just trapped below support, trapped at resistance, and I don't really like the way this looks. I don't. I'm not a huge fan. Maybe that's my bias. You decide. You don't have to agree with me. Now my favorite. I did this whole live stream just so I could talk about Litecoin. You guys know it. You guys know it. Just kidding, but whatever. Litecoin looks awesome off that last week close. This week, way less energy. We do see a higher high. I do like that. And it is looking to close a solid green body candle, potentially above resistance, which it failed to do. Well, at least for this resistance last week. Don't FOMO, because Litecoin is by no means out of the woods. This is the major level. Look at how many weeks it spent right here trying to break this level before selling off into an all-time low. It's returned to it, and that's great. And I'm excited because I've watched Litecoin bleed for years and years. I'm excited, but you're not out of the woods. This seriously, Litecoin needs to move up. I would say, someone said this earlier, but I'll agree, past 0.03 against Bitcoin. A close above 0.03, and I think Litecoin is headed for a very significant retracement. We're not quite there. This is exciting. Maybe that means you should keep an eye on Litecoin. But it certainly doesn't mean that it's time to FOMO. It's just way, way too far away at the moment. I'm going to pull up the dollar value. Here's your USD and BTC pairs at work here. Litecoin hasn't really made up a lot of ground in dollars. But simply because Bitcoin did not, or went lower, whatever, didn't have as much upside, Litecoin's value versus Bitcoin looks very solid. Looks very solid. Where did these land? I don't even know what I was looking at with this chart. I have no idea what I was looking at with this chart. Those do look like some major supports that may be resistance now. And we're right there, of course, today. So we may even see a rejection on that. Is what it is. Is what it is.
Send you every alt-tar in Discord. This is based on BSV. Also, let's look at BSV.
Yeah, my friend. I still think JJ is the only one who's subscribed today, which is wild that we'd have 500, 600 viewing and one subscriber. But you know what? That just makes JJ even better. This makes me even better. I missed this Clicker 101. Greatly appreciate you, brother. Smash those likes. I greatly appreciate you. And I greatly appreciate you shilling the likes for me. I get bored of doing it. Appreciate you. Thank you, my friend, for the $5. Rico send every alt. What? This is what Rico sent. This is some advanced technical analysis. It's pretty accurate. This is the problem with alts. We'll see them recover. They don't go back to their all-time high. They recover again. They kind of just repeat that cycle. They're very dangerous, especially right now. That's why kind of talking about scalping or DCA style. I would just be careful with DCA. I don't really think it's a good idea with anything outside of Bitcoin. There's not enough promise that it will return to a value where you're in profit. Where Bitcoin, no promises are made on anything, but its history has shown that it does. I don't know, man. You want to look at BSV? We're not doing in requests, so no one tip. If you want to request, this is just not going to happen. But we'll look at BSV because Rico and I were talking about it. And I know why he wants to look at it. Because it's in a similar setup. You look at this chart, it's similar to Litecoin. Basically a history of selling. These are months. These aren't weeks. These are months. Almost all red months, right? Let's see. Actually, this is pretty cool. I don't like BSV, and so even if I knew it was going to go up, I probably wouldn't buy it. But Rico ain't wrong, man. He's not wrong. Very similar setup to Litecoin here. The only thing I will say, and F you, Rico. The only thing I'll say that makes Litecoin a little better, this bottom, much more confidence building bottom. This V bottom, very capitulation-y. This bottom, not very capitulation-y, whatever that means. You fell, buying was lackluster, and it got pushed up. It's just not quite the same, but it's the same in the sense of it's a coin that we've seen sell off against Bitcoin for years, and now it's making pretty significant upside, at least, yeah, so far. Pretty significant upside. I can see BSV coming back here, test this as support. That bottom is what does it for me, though. This is just not the capitulation bottom that I'd hope for, or I look for anyway. Litecoin, you get that V shape, it falls, and buyers come in. This fell, buyers were kind of like hesitant, and then it looks like probably Craig Wright bought it and pushed it up. That's my honest take. Doesn't mean it can't retrace, doesn't mean there isn't money to be made. I just hate BSV. I am never going to buy it. 618 retrace actually sitting at a pretty significant weekly level. Right around there. Let's get rid of this because that doesn't exist anymore. 0043. I'm not even going to look at it in dollars unless it's on here. Cool. It is, so I will. I have no idea what's on this chart. This chart's ancient. Ew. Maybe this is kind of like where my PTSD comes from for like YFI. What I was just talking about. This thing kind of is doing the same. It had a low, it started low, it rallied, and now it's almost all the way back to low, though this is over a period of 3 years, maybe more than 3 years. This is why alts can be so dangerous. If you DCA'd into BSV since it started, you very likely would still be underwater. That's the strength, I think, of Bitcoin DCAing, is that's almost never true, given enough time. Sure, this can go back up, whatever. I don't know. I don't like this coin. You're welcome to like this coin. I just don't. This is actually it's dollar pair here. This is a little more of what I was talking about. I like this a little bit more than a BTC pair. This little V bottom. Sellers pushed the market down to a new low. Buyers came back and responded. Looks like they took some profit, but bears won, or bulls won the battle again, and it looks like they're consolidating above previous resistance. It's not bad. I don't know. Rico, I hate you for making me look at that. I hate you. I love you, brother. You're the best. All right. Let me check back in on this trade. It's looking actually really bad. So I like the structure this was in. It fell out of that structure. And on this hourly, you can't really see this. On this hourly, it looks like it's rejected from this trend line. It's following kind of with these higher lows. It fell out. That hourly looks like it rejected. Not ideal. Actually pretty crappy looking. I might move my stop up. But I know if I move my stop up, it'll snipe it and then it'll keep going up. Should I do it anyway? I'm kind of sick of this one position. We've been in it way too long. Let's move it up. 0. Do I like where that is? Honestly, if it breaks this low, I almost want to get out. It's up a little more. 211. 211. 33. There we go. Nope, that's too high. Look at me failing. Look at that. There we go. That's pretty good. I'll take it there. Will we get sniped out and then price go up? Probably. Probably. But this long's been open a long time. It's up 30%. We've already realized that much on this trade. So double. It's up like 60% from when we started. I'm looking. You guys know what I want to do. I'm always a bull on Bitcoin. I know. I don't believe it only goes up. I don't think it's always going up. But I'm always a bull. I want to get into a hedge position. That's what I'm looking to do here with these shorts. Oh, I moved my screen. Did I? Or is that just... Okay. Nah, it's just tabbed weird. I'm looking to get into a hedge. I missed my own hedge. Hopefully some of you took it. I missed my own hedge at 48K. I said I was going to do it and I forgot. Hopefully some of you did. And without that, I'm not feeling as good. So I'm looking for some kind of retracement so I can open a short and hope it gets liquidated. Basically hope it gets liquidated because I just want protection from downside. No one knows where the bottom is. I certainly don't. I can tell you my opinion, which is I think it's probably in, but I've said that before. Don't listen to people who tell you they know the bottom. They don't. They don't know the bottom or the top. Sometimes they're correct in hindsight. And for that reason, I want to have a hedge position open. I want downside protection. That doesn't mean, like, certainly I will lose more money than I will gain net if it goes down, even with that hedge position open. But at least it won't be as painful as just watching everything bleed and go down. I'll have something that can be like, yeah, I'm still winning. It'll keep me morally in the game. Surprisingly important. Surprisingly important. Well, we're about to get stopped, I have a feeling. I just don't like that. I don't like that turnaround. Let's see if that happened on Coinbase too, actually. That's not the right line. It's these two. Maybe. Something like that. Yeah, visible on Coinbase also. I think it's time for me to bail. Looks like it's time for me to bail on this long. Support, sold, resistance, sold. So if we break this low here, looking for a measured move to the downside. Boom! 20,700 LFG. That'd be pretty savage. So if we do get stopped out, I might look to open up again at 20,700. If we don't get stopped out, we're riding this baby. Let's actually place that 20,714. I don't know. It's going to be small. It's not going to be a big one. There it is. Take that. How do I want to play this? I think it's right. I think it's good. I'm pretty happy, actually. Pretty happy with where that's at. Will the whales come to liquidate me? Find out soon. Find out soon. 300 likes with 500 watching. Doesn't seem like we're going to get to our 420. It's weird. We almost always do. It's an eerily quiet day. Don't worry. The perks of subscribing, I'll shout you out right now. I'll give you a shout out. Everyone loves shout outs. I've actually only gained 15 subscribers today. That's low. That's a low. Oh well. Oop. That wasn't anything sensitive, but that wasn't supposed to pop up. I guess let's close that. Let's see who's here. Robert Bonar. Mr. Robert. Love Robert. What's up, dude? Good to see you. What day will the Fed talk inflation in July the 15th? And you better be here for it. AZTV, thanks for streaming. Thanks for being here, brother. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. It's nice outside. It's 100 degrees outside here. That's why I'm like dying. Dr. Crypto saying smash the likes, hit subscribes. I appreciate that too. Throw the 50x. I don't really use 50x, mostly because I don't like losing. I like winning. Sweaty for wins. Tom is an emotional human. Clearly. An emotional trader. I mean, I'm a human. I would say I'm probably not described as an emotional trader typically. It's good to see you, by the way, Vanessa. It was fun hanging out in Ben's chat the other day. Who else is here? Brian Miller, FOMO and LTC. Not two things you expect to see together. True that. Coin View Cap official. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Joe Perez. Trendline not broken. 4-hour megaphone pattern. Well, that's why I'm looking to stop this long. Poland is here. What's up, Tomek? What's up, Poland? Shout out to Poland. What's the average price to mine Bitcoin currently? There's really no such thing. There's really no such thing as like the price to mine. It's all dependent. It's all dependent on what you're paying for electricity, and then also dependent on what hardware you have. Sean Apesto, Steve-O Crypto, he has a wrench. Now he's just subscribing. Way to go, Steve-O. Showed your true colors. Shout you out as well, Veres Levente. Sure, there you go. Great to have you. What's going on, Coinbase Pro? Coinbase Pro, nothing really. So this isn't the first time Coinbase has done this. Coinbase Pro used to be GDAX. Then they moved to Coinbase Pro. And now they're moving from Coinbase Pro to like Coinbase Advanced. Like this isn't the first time they've done it. They're just consolidating. It always was confusing to have Coinbase and Coinbase Pro be separate. I'll give them that. It was always confusing. It's probably, I don't know if it's like high IQ move. It just is what it is. It's really a non-factor. It's nothing to worry about. Just not a big deal. Your ETH short printing. Get it. Carping qualities. Get it. What's up, Gabriel, my friend? Kazoro. Gorab Bag. Hi, Rune. Ever been to Belgium? I don't know. I've been to Germany. I'm not sure I've ever been to Belgium. Mr. Crypto Bitcoin in charts. Check out the move on Lunsea. I don't know. We just did a bunch of charts. Is the bottom in? Maybe. Four hour? What? 4 hour. What? Oh, well, in 3 minutes we'll have a bearish engulfing if it doesn't get bought up. You don't count them at least until they close. It's interesting. That's the previous wick, right? That's 24 minute. I'm an idiot. We had a bearish engulf. Okay. Yeah, I thought I was on the 4 hour. I was on the 24 minute. Yeah. Pretty ugly. Pretty uglies. Low trend line. What's funny is without even realizing it, 4 hour even was showing that rejection, aka why I was looking to get out of this long. Thanks for the epic response. Of course, man. Well, I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say I know where the bottom is. I don't. No one does. Check TA. You guys are welcome to share your TA in the Discord. You should jump in the Discord, by the way. Get the airdrops. Sweet sats for nothing, just for being in the Discord. You're welcome to share your TA there. I don't think we're going to get to 420 likes. That makes me really sad. Uh-oh. Low broke. Blah. That's not good. Are we getting sniped? Sniped. Go away. Don't stop me out. Go away. I'm getting stopped out. And it's going right back up. Watch. Every time I set my stops close. Yeah, I just don't see a point. I don't see a reason. I don't see a reason. Either you're going to hold and my long's going to stay open, or you're going to stop me out and you're going to dump, and maybe I'll re-enter at 20,700. There we go. Back up. Back it up. Back away, whales. Back away. This is not the long you're looking for. Nice little wick on the one. Pushed up. Our long might be safe for now. Might be safe for now. $30 sucking back up. Huh, we might have avoided the stop hunt. Totally, that's possible. Might have avoided the stop hunt. Knock on wood. Because whenever you say that, you're wrong. You're always wrong. Why you don't use bookmap? Oh yeah, you're from Poland. Sorry, I didn't mean to make fun of you. Tensor charts, trading light, bookmap. These are all great. JT, there isn't enough T in your Discord. Well, then get in there and share some, my friend. Why don't you use bookmap? Those things are great. I recommend people look into them. They just, I don't think, are usually an important factor for my trades. There's definitely education. There's definitely info, data to learn from, to use in your own analysis. I think it really comes down to this, is you could say that about almost any indicator, any tool. Why don't you use them? Well, like, there's only a certain amount of time. You know, it comes down to efficiency. I can't possibly look at everything, because by the time I did, trade would probably be over. There's nothing bad. Like, I encourage everyone to go check it out. They're quality. It is quality. But it's just not a big factor for me. Wait, I didn't mean glass node. I meant BYBT. Coin glass, not glass node. Let's look at funding here quick. Funding, relatively neutral, slightly negative. Exactly the same as last stream. Any big gainers, 24 hours? Apecoin. I think we might have called the bottom on Apecoin somehow, though. I have no idea how. It's not out of the woods, but... It's not out of the woods. But it's pretty spicy there, man. It's higher high today. Pushing up on our 1618 after bottoming at this like random spot. That was all analysis. This was all analysis. This was no structure, no, like, I don't know. No candle closes, no reason other than freaking Fibonacci retracement tool was the only reason we saw this. That's a pretty good snipe. 330 to $5 now. That's decent upside. 50% already. Loving your short clicker. Nice. What are you short on? On BTC? We had a short. But we did it the other way. I was long from the yearly, or from the previous all-time high. We were long from 1990 or 20K, and we actually took profit. What's spicy is how perfect that was. We took profit at 21,644. Where did this go to? I don't even know if it hit it on Coinbase, did it? 21,644. Oh yeah, it went past it. But that would have, so closing a long or taking profit on a long, could have read that as taking a short. Would have worked out well also. We've had some snipes. We were losing a lot of trades at one point. Now we're kind of back-to-back winning. This is how trading goes. That's why it's the most important thing in trading is to be able to continue trading. That's why you typically use a small percent of your portfolio in each trade, because you need to be able to trade, I don't know, 100 times, 1,000 times to get into that statistical average. You're absolutely going to lose a bunch of trades in a row. You're absolutely going to win a bunch of trades in a row. But if you can get knocked out, I don't know, let's say 6 losses in a row would liquidate you, or reduce your trading funds to 0, you can't keep going, so you can't get back on that probabilistic curve. Hopefully that makes sense. We had a lot of losses. Now we have a lot of wins. It all evens out. At the end of the day, as long as it evens out to profit, then you're good, right? Look at Luna Classic right now. I don't really like the demanding Luna, the kind of demanding aspect of that. But what could it be doing? Like what? What? It has a green candle for today or something? Like, guys, Luna Classic is by far this, like, the dumbest. Like, just don't. There's no the only reason to buy this is to be liquidity for someone. Why? It's up 4%, dude. Why are you? What? Why would we look at this? Not financial advice, but I would never seriously invest in this. I bought some for the lulz to be a Luna millionaire, but I fully expected to lose all that money. We're not going to look at this. There's nothing to look at. It's just zero. It's just like at zero. Sorry, I don't know. Luna's just, it's not worth giving any reach to. Let's see. We avoided the stop hunt. Hopefully. I don't hate what's building. I don't hate what's building here. How do we look at that like this? Falling wedge, baby. Falling wedge. But the falling wedge doesn't even make it to our re-entry. We might get skunked. If we got stopped out there, we might have gotten skunked. That's the high heel pattern. If you sell courses in here, I will nuke you. What? Who's selling courses? Oh. I see. This person. Well, we got another one. We can add to the list. Whoever they're trying to advertise. By spamming in this live stream, which is just very rude, to be honest. I'm not like offended, but it's pretty rude to go to someone's live stream and like promote something. Here's what we're gonna do. Now we're just gonna add that person. We're just gonna add that person to it. And now no one can promote them. They might have even been like a good person. I don't know. Maybe. Typically not though if they're spamming. I don't even think that's a YouTube channel. Nope, never mind. I don't know. I think instead we'll just add it to the blocked words. Sweaty 4 wins. No one says that often. Here we go. Now no one will ever be able to show them again. Rip. Grip. Can we short now? I don't know, man. It just went down. Ah, there he is. Now he's hidden on the channel. See you, Sweaty for wins. Does that actually work? Do people like see people in the chat and they're like, that must be real because someone randomly said that? The guy didn't work. He's new to trading, didn't work. And he's traded his income, but he wants to learn more. What? What? No one who's new to trading is making an income. One's making an income on trading if you just started. We all need to learn more. No, this is not going to happen. It's unrealistic. It's a great way to set yourself up for failure. That's a better way to put it. Yeah, there's much better ways to approach that. It might work for a little bit until it doesn't. Render for the win. 4-hour bear flag. We're hearing a lot of these 4-hour bear flags. I'm not sure how where do you see the bear flag at? I mean, I see the bearish engulf, that's rough. Low broke, that's rough. But like, I don't see the flag. Typically, like you would call like this a 4-hour bear flag. Because you have like your highs coming down, your lows coming up. Highs moving up. At the start of this, I said I don't like the structure. Doesn't look good. I have a hard time thinking this is going to break down now that it didn't stop me. Yeah, probably wrong though, right? All right, we need 18 likes to get to 420, then we'll all blaze it. Today's a slow day. I just wanted to see my favorite people. Even if there aren't a lot of people paying attention, it's probably a beautiful day where you are. By all means, go enjoy the outside. Go enjoy it. He referred to his viewers as fans today, and you're mad. Ugh. Well, I hope you guys are fans of me. Though I would never, like, assume that. A lot of people probably hate me and are just here to, because learn TA. No problem with that either. Respect, actually, to that. I think I'm mildly likable, maybe. And fan, viewer, and fellow trader. Right on, bro. Right on. Look at near. White Fire OG. That's right, man. Fan of the TA. See, exactly. That'd be my fan. Just fan of the TA. I respect that. OnlyFans pays the bills. You sound like Bob Ross now. Yeah, go enjoy the nice weather outside. How to draw fibs, that's a lesson for a different day. It's a lesson for a different day. We've been live for an hour. That's pretty much what I wanted to do. We got through the coins I wanted to get through. Bitcoin not really moving much now. So check out our sponsors, Market Cipher, Phemex, check them out. Links in the chat, video description below. Join the Discord for the airdrop. That's about it. That's about it. If something spicy happens into the close, we'll be live again. I don't want to stream for like hours and hours and hours right now and then have a spicy close and then be like too tired to stream. Because at the moment, not much is happening. You'll know if it does. Might be live. We might be live again soon. In the next few hours, we'll see what happens with price. And if not, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I love you, fam. Viewers or fans or whatever you are, fellow traders, cheers to you. Go outside and enjoy the day. We got 420 likes, so blaze it. Love you all.